All right, so we have a lot to talk about in this video. I rented out my second property in PA. The process was honestly longer than I expected, but I'm honestly making a lot more than I expected. I'm gonna be going over the numbers, how much I'm all in for, how much I'm making, and also just the whole process, kind of like what we renovated. Now, the renovation video is posted on my YouTube video, so you guys can go watch that, a couple videos down. We renovated the entire PA property just to kind of get that good value. We're doing the BRRRR method on this property, and then we're just gonna rent it out for the time being. So if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think of this, and if I should post more videos about the processes and all that stuff and document everything. And yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot to go over in this video. All right, welcome to another YouTube video. In this video, I'll explain every single process because I didn't get to film that much of it. The process behind me renting out my Pennsylvania property that took a total of like 2 to 3 weeks when I actually wanted to rent it out. Because honestly, I wanted to enjoy it a little bit because I paid so much money for it. And we put a lot of money into it, by the way. That video is also going to be pinned in the description, so you should watch the entire renovation to the property as well with my boy Tony and Stevens, because they killed it on the renovation. Other than me doing the drywall work, I mean, not gonna lie, it fucking sucks. But I'm here in Hoboken, New Jersey right now. Just went shopping a little bit. And I also got myself a little fat, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I'm gonna enjoy the night with that and watch some videos and stuff like that, or watch some movies. But yeah, there's not much to it tonight. I'm just kind of chilling tonight. But I decided, you know what, let's walk you guys through the process, because that's what I'm about. If you guys have been following me for a while, I've been sharing my knowledge every single process of the way of me doing real estate. I've been doing it for 4 years. We have 2 properties now, one in PA, one in New York. I'm getting more and more experienced every single year. And we're gonna do a fix and flip. Mark my words, we're gonna do a fix and flip in April of 2025. So when you're watching this, the video will come out fucking February, or I don't even know, it's January 20th. But you guys are gonna see this video, and then like 4 months later, we're gonna get ourselves right into a fix and flip. So that should be next video. But yeah, I'm just here in Hoboken right now. Looks mad nice here. We're actually this fucking place is like 2 stories tall or whatever, 3 stories. There was a balcony on the top. But yeah, so yeah, let's walk you guys through the numbers. I kind of just explained everything right now with you guys. The condition of the property is fully renovated. When we bought it, it was completely like outdated. The whole, like, the sense of this property, me purchasing and stuff like that, I was gonna do the BRRRR method, and I still am. I just have to wait until April because I went like traditional with the loan and stuff like that, and I'll get more into that. But yeah, so I went traditional, so that means I have to wait 6 months to literally cash out refi. So if I went with like a hard money loan or a DSCR loan, I'm able to kind of pull out my money a lot quicker. Now, sadly, they don't do heat locks, whatever the heck the thing is. So they don't allow me to kind of pull out the money a lot quicker than 6 months. So I have no option but to wait. My favorite thing about renting out properties is that it literally cash flows. Like, each property that I picked up personally, I was able to like cash flow $500. So a little, backstory, because honestly, I also have a video of my first rental property up on my YouTube channel. So you guys should go check that out, because the numbers are always changing. Like this PA property, I'm getting 2 times the amount from the other rental property that I'm honestly doing right now. My first rental property, I'm getting $500 a month cash flow after all expenses. And then this PA property, I'm getting $984 a month. So it's a huge fucking difference. And honestly, when I do the BRRRR method, I don't need to pay taxes when I pull that money out and stuff like that. So we're gonna get the appraisal in April. I'm gonna do a whole nother video on that, and we're gonna pull out that money. It should be a good amount. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna get a different appraisal with my lender. But yeah, I'm gonna do all that stuff. I basically have a crew now with my fix and flips, which is good now. So with the years of me doing this, which is only like 2025 actually, it's only been 1 year. This is my second year, 2026, of me kind of going through the ropes of renting out properties and then fixing and flipping. So, I'm gonna take 2 of my other friends and we're gonna do the next property. I'm probably gonna hire different people for it because there's like more work that we need to do. But yeah, everything's going smooth. Honestly, real estate, everybody makes it seem like, oh, there's these costs, that cost, and that is true. There's so many miscellaneous costs. So please do not get inside of this business if you don't have capital. If you're spending every single dime on your first property and you're getting left off with like 2 bands in your account, don't do it. Like, I mean, shit that I wanted to upgrade though. So like, I can't really get mad at that. Like, I wanted to update my house. So of course I'm gonna spend like good bread on the house to make it look good. So, you know, you do what you want, but don't buy a house if you don't get the inspection, if you don't really know what's going on with it. I knew that my PA property had some like foundation issues, but other than that, the roof was going to be held up well with the time of me, you know, the ownership, and, you know, other situations like the water pressure was good, the plumbing was good. The toilet is a little weird, but I'm still having issues with it, I'm not gonna lie. It could have cost me a lot more, I'm not gonna lie, you know. And here's a funny video right here of me walking into the property actually and realizing all my pipes are frozen. So what happened was I left my property with no heat, no nothing. I just left it, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really realize that I turned everything off. But yeah, so basically the process behind me, you know, renting out my property, how long it took, it really went pretty well. You know, we did a lot of showings. I had like a lot of people go out to the property, take a look for themselves, and we had about like 3 or 4 different showings. Not gonna lie though, all right, and if the community's watching this, whatever. But buying in a fucking HOA or a community is the worst thing ever. You're pretty much on a leash. You're pretty much on a leash when you fucking own properties in a community. But, you know, this community is decently cool. So they were able to, you know, let me rent out my property without so many freaking rules and stuff. But, yeah, so basically 2 weeks in the process of me trying to post out my property, see what it does, you know, the numbers. I had it up for like 1880. And then I lowered it to 1750, and I got somebody so quick and stuff. You know, I had it on Facebook, as you can see right here, and then I also had it on Zillow. So as far as a manager goes, because my other property I'm using a manager, I'm like, you know what? I live an hour away. It's not like the New York house where it's like 4 hours away. So I think I'll manage it myself, you know? So that's what I'm doing this time around. Yeah, I'm managing my own property for Pike County, the PA property that I renovated completely. We did, you know, 2 weeks of showings, and then we finally found the tenant that I really wanted to move in. It's like just a couple, a guy and a girl, and we're gonna rent them out. Basically, they're there. We signed a 1-year lease. The right way to do it though is a month to month. This community only requires a year lease. So we did that, and we're gonna really just see how it goes. Going into the numbers, like how much does it cost to prep the property? How much is it to advertise, let's say, or to finally find the person and do a background check. So for my background checks for the property, I low-key use Indigo. So they'll punch in their email, it'll automatically run their credit. I'll see kind of like what their income's like. And you know, you don't need to pay for this. It's pretty much free until you actually get the tenant and stuff like that. What costs money though when you're renting out properties is property managers. So if you live kind of close to your rental property, I suggest you to just rent that bitch out, all right, and just manage it yourself. You know, I guess examples of like managing a property would be like if, you know, the tenant calls you and is like, oh, yo, you know, you need to get your like pipe replaced or like looked at because there's like a little leak, then that would be like on you, obviously, and stuff like that. But I'm gonna pull up a screenshot of pretty much how the year went. I'm gonna share the numbers with you guys, how the year went with my rental properties. My first property, and then the PA property right now that we just did in November, and we're just renting out. Now, I'm not gonna lie, he paid me 4 months in advance, so I'm gonna add all those numbers up and really show you guys what that number looks like. So here it is. This is how much I made, pretty much. This is how much I made so far renting out my properties and how much I pretty much made profit. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still new to the business. Like, you know, a lot of people have been, you know, helping me out throughout the ways, you know, with my property manager being on the PA, the New York property. But yeah, I mean, I'm still new to the business. I'm still learning the business. I'm still cash flowing, which is, you know, a good thing, I guess, because a lot of people, you know, they buy these little cheap properties, right? 30,000, 40,000. Property needs a shit ton of work. and you have to put like fucking 50K into it to upkeep it, you know, to make it livable. And you know, and the property's not worth it now, you know, because you're so deep in, but your rent's only, you know, $900 a month, and that's pretty much your mortgage. So you gotta buy the right properties. And honestly, I hear a lot of bullshit online, like, oh, I bought the wrong property, da 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 da. There's so much work to this property, I didn't even know. These are the people, you know, people are fucked up because you know, I listened to the internet, they told me to buy it, and now it's not working out. Well, it's kind of on you, because you got to do your due diligence on the properties. Like you could buy a property that's an asset, and then you could buy a property that's a liability. When you, like, everybody thinks real estate is just asset, you're just gonna make a fucking shit ton of money, when that's not the truth, honestly. Because you could buy a fucking shithole and it'll be a liability. You know, you'll have to upkeep it every single fucking month and stuff like that. It's just not worth it, you know. So look for the right deals. They're definitely out there. It's just all about taking action and starting that search and getting the right, you know, the right people in place too. I'm not gonna lie. With renting out my property, you know, getting the managers in place, especially if I'm far away, I didn't want to be doing all that work, like kind of driving there and showing up for the tenant and, you know, replacing this, replacing that. I'll just send out somebody like my manager and he'll do the work. So stuff like that's important, and you have to factor in that cost when you're in this business, you know, especially if you want to make it a business. If you have just like, you know, let's throw an example. Like if you have like a lake house, then okay, maybe you don't need a manager. You know, you just want to rent it out for, you know, the winter times and then want to use it in the summertime. Then sure, like rent it out. You don't need a manager. Just make sure you have good insurance on, you know, your house insurance for the landlord, because there's going to be like a landlord special. So you should be able to just like max out your what do you call it, the rent landlord insurance policy. Just make sure that's maxed out. If you're not going to put it into an LLC, and you should be good, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of risk to it, you know. There's a lot of risk, but there's also a lot of reward for it, you know. Like we did the BRRRR method on this property, and I wasn't expecting to make, you know, as much as I wanted to make on this property. And we're still waiting for numbers in April. Nothing's confirmed. But yeah, a lot is what I learned, you know. But yeah, I'm 23 now, man. These years have been going so fucking fast. I hope everybody watching this can just kind of go out there, achieve their goals, get it done as quick as possible. Don't look at the time too much. Just do what you got to do. You know, you can't believe in, like, you know, the perfect time, this happening, like, your time is now. You have to put in the work, you know. You can't just sit around and just wait for something to happen like everybody, you know. I that's what I felt inside of me. And then 2024, I was like, I'm not gonna, you know, listen to this one guy that's telling me, oh, the market's, you know, wait until the market crashes to buy properties and do what you want to do. Like, if you want to do something, you do it now. Even if you think, or you know, it's the worst time to do it because you want to. But yeah, I love connecting with you guys. If you guys have wholesale deals, drop them below and let me know, because I'm still doing wholesale. So all my sources of income are pretty much wholesale, renting out properties, fix and flipping, and doing the BRRRR method, and also obviously teaching you guys. I love teaching you guys. I do daily meetings from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So let me know if you guys ever need me. So here's my pros and cons about renting out properties. So my pros are that you can honestly really cash flow. It's a real fucking thing. I went through the process. I experienced it. I'm honestly cash flowing right now $1,500 a month every single month with 2 properties that I have. Imagine if I had 5. It would have been like, it should be like $3,000, $5,000 a month. So I'm at 2 houses and I'm cash flowing $1,500 a month. I think that's a big pro. Another pro I'd say is that honestly, maybe I call this luck, but I don't have to like kind of, you know, upkeep the property that much. I bought a property that's, you know, pretty good and stuff like that. Now that could lead into a con though, if you bought a wrong property. You know, you got to upkeep it a lot. You got to put more money into it, and there might, you know, be a lot of issues later down the road for you. Another con would be another con that I probably would have is low-key the fact that you got to rely on somebody, I guess, with this business. renting it out and stuff like that. It's not like a 1, 2, 3 process where you can just collect the rent. If they don't want to pay, they don't fucking need to pay. And then you got to go through the process of eviction and stuff like that. It's just not worth it. So, that's another con. You just got to rely on people. I mean, that's every business though. I'm not even gonna lie, but that's a big one. But yeah, I mean, there's really not much to it. I mean, I guess you could say another pro that I would honestly mention is the fact that whatever amount you put down, 20%, 50%, normally it's like 20%, all that money is going into equity. So it's all money you're gonna get back when you sell the property